Welcome into On Texas Football. Time for the Saturday morning conversation. I'm Bobby Burton. I've got a special guest today, SEC Mike. His name goes by that, but Mike Bratton of that SEC podcast. Welcome to the show. Saturday morning conversation brought to you by our friends over at Advanced Pain Care. We'll tell you a little bit more about them later. Offices throughout Central Texas. Mike, welcome to the show. How you doing, man?
Hey, doing great, Bobby. And you call me a special guest. I feel like I am the one that is getting treated here because last I checked, not that I saw it coming, but last I checked, Bobby, they own the damn SEC and not only football, but seemingly every sport. And it took them less than 12 months to get it done. So again, credit to the Longhorns there. I certainly did not see that coming.
Yeah, that was actually my first question for you. You, longtime SEC watcher, viewer, etc., discussing the SEC. What's your take on, or your takeaway on Texas's first year in the SEC? Was it more than you expected? It seems like you feel that way at this point, right?
Oh, not only would I say that, Bobby, I'll take it a step further. I talked up Texas 8-4 more than I talked up Texas. I talked up the Sooners more than I talked up Texas. So the fact that I'm now on the Texas bandwagon, that may be the only bad thing that's happened to the Longhorns, this entire offseason. But yeah, I mean, I got to hand it to Sarkisian. I knew he was arguably the best play caller in all of college football, but I had serious questions about him and his ability to be a head coach of an elite program. I think he has completely smashed any doubt about that. The continuity, the commitment to overall football is just, I don't think, not even Georgia, not even Alabama have a higher commitment right now than what we're seeing with Texas, with the alleged NIL budget and all the fanfare with Arch Manning. I mean, it's Texas universe. We're just living in it, Bobby. I mean, this is basically the Texas conference now.
Mike, in all seriousness, I thought it was funny. You said Texas 8-4. That's your nickname for Texas A&M. Tell folks why that's your nickname for Texas A&M, because as I'm looking at that 12th man towel in your background, since your podcast covers the entire, I'm a little shook by it. But in all seriousness, why do you call them Texas 8-4 instead of Texas A&M?
Well, I think it's pretty self-explanatory, isn't it? I mean, every year they go 8-4. It doesn't matter, who's the coach. Doesn't matter who the players are, how easy the schedule is, or even how difficult the schedule is. They can start out 7-1. And they just finish 8-4 every single year. So, yeah, I know. I would imagine your audience likes to poke fun at the Aggies, which, hey,
no. I mean, are you kidding?
But
not at all.
I don't know if you've seen it. The over/under for A&M, or 8-4, excuse me, is 7.5. I mean, put your mortgage on the over. I'm not saying they're going to win 10, 11 games. We all know they're going to go 8-4, which is over 7.5. So that's a good bet right there, I think.
Mike, you talk about it. Let's go back to Texas, because one of the things we've been talking about this spring, and really since the conclusion and the opening of the spring transfer portal, Texas added 5 guys this spring, only lost 3. 2 of them were specialists, so I don't feel like the Texas team lost much in the portal for sure. We've been talking about whether or not we think Texas is going to be better in 2025 than they were in 2024. You're certainly not. I mean, you keep up with everybody, but you're not as tied in as myself and some other guys. What are your thoughts from the outside looking in that you could maybe share with a Texas-based audience?
Mm-hmm. Well, I certainly think it's going to be difficult to be better, essentially, of overall talent when you send, 12 players to the NFL draft? But heck, I believe they sent 13 the year before.
11, yeah, 11.
11, okay, so right there, and they were better. So, this is going to be a real test of the sustaining the success for Sark and company. But I got all the confidence in the world that they could do it. Will they be better? I don't know, but just based on what I know of Texas, I think they're going to be equally as deep as they have been, and just the talent is just everywhere. I mean, I think they might be a little bit better on defense. I mean, that's hard for me to say given some of the high-end talent they lost to the draft, but some of the young talent they got coming in, some of these transfer portal pickups they got to shore up the defensive side of the football. I mean, they got a moneymaker down there in Austin, and will they be better overall? I don't know, but I think being having the depth that Texas has, quite frankly, Bobby, I think it's unique to any team in the conference right now, and that includes Georgia, that includes Alabama, and I think that's a big reason why Texas went on to the SEC championship and went further than anybody in the college football playoff out of the conference.
Yeah, this is a good topic because you start talking about Texas having more talent than Alabama or Georgia, which is what you know how those folks feel about their team, and I think that's interesting because we don't necessarily feel that and see that with those schools. We know that they lost a lot to the draft, especially Georgia in particular. Yet again, had another heavy draft cycle. Maybe Texas is in that category now, and so I think it's new territory for Texas fans in some ways, a return to old territory in others, but that's also been 10, 15 years ago. All right, I want to ask you some more questions, if you don't mind, Mike. I want to ask you about some other teams around the conference and whether you think they're going to be better or worse next year. Before we do that, I want to say thank you again and hear from our sponsor here, Advanced Pain Care in the greater Austin area.
Pros know the pain stops here.
Physical therapy helps me as an athlete then and now. And do I still need therapy? Yes. Advanced Pain Care helps with that.
Injuries will stack up. They'll add up. You can't let those injuries get you down, and Advanced Pain Care has been very helpful for me.
We can help with whatever's got you down, from nerve damage to our spinal cord stimulator. Pain is inevitable. Suffering is optional. Same-day appointments available.
Advanced Pain Care. The pain stops here.
All right, Mike, I tell you what, listen here. We got a bunch of teams in the SEC that have good talent. You mentioned Alabama, Georgia, Tennessee has been good. LSU is looking to rebound this year. Florida under Billy Napier. I mean, are they really going to get it done, or is he going to kind of peter out here, even though he's got the quarterback, right? South Carolina with Lenore Sellers. Is Sam Pittman going to get fired at Arkansas, or is he going to have a comeback year? And is John Mateer good enough to lead Oklahoma back into contention for anything at this point? Let's talk a little bit about that, if you don't mind. Start with a couple of teams that you think are going to be appreciably better in 2025 than in 2024.
Okay, cover your ears, Longhorns. You might want to skip ahead the next 60 seconds, but I think the team that has improved the most in the conference this offseason is Oklahoma. Now, that was that's not much saying much because they were so poor last year overall, but I just can't imagine, Bobby, that they're that pathetic on the offensive side of the football after bringing in Ben Arbuckle, the offensive coordinator, and more importantly, John Mateer at quarterback, Jay Nutt, the Cal running back. I mean, they have completely revamped their offense, and I think the key that is going to be overlooked by people that are not diehard Sooner fans is continuity on the offensive line. They've got to be better on the offensive line. That's the biggest deficiency they had on their entire team, and they had a lot of deficiencies.
I was going to say their quarterback play was mediocre. I can't believe that Jackson Arnold's might start it at Auburn. No offense to Jackson Arnold, he just wasn't very good. But maybe it was the offensive line for the Sooners. And
right.
Texas fans are aware of that. But I do agree. I mean, they should be good on defense again, even though they lose Danny Stutzman, their all-conference linebacker, Billy Bowman, a good player in the secondary. Brent Venables is recruited well on defense. He needs pieces on offense to kind of come together. They should have better receiver play. Last year, they were just decimated at receiver. Anybody else? LSU expected to be better? I mean, they should be, or else Brian Kelly may be on the hot seat next year.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think he's firmly on the hot seat right now. I mean, I think it's playoff or bust, and that's incredible to say when he got down there and got handed a guaranteed $100 million contract. But he also said, hey, well, after he said family, he said, I'm down here to win a championship. And last I checked, the guy that replaced him at his old school is seemingly closer than he is. I mean, that should be inexcusable. And LSU has won multiple national championships with multiple coaches. So it's not the coaches down there. It's the program. At least that's what it's turned into. And I think it's fair to say, I'm not saying Brian Kelly's better than Nick Saban. Obviously, you'd be a fool if you said that. But I think his resume from day one when he got to LSU was vastly superior than what Nick Saban's resume was when he got to LSU. So he's out of excuses. They've got to be better. LSU is a prime team that has got to be on a list of most improved. But the one I've really got my eye on, Bobby, and you mentioned it there, was the Florida Gators, who they kind of got red hot at the tail end of the season with a true freshman, DJ Lagway, at quarterback, beat LSU, beat Ole Miss, beat Florida State, and then they were dominant in the bowl game against Tulane. So, if they could carry over that momentum, they've got a daunting schedule, and I still got serious questions on how good of a coach Billy Napier is. I've been doing this a good while, Bobby. I can't remember a time where seemingly a program kept a coach to keep a quarterback. Yeah, that's where we're at in the state of college football, and that's what they think of DJ Lagway. I mean, he very well, it's him. I think it's Arch, and I think it's Lenore Sellers. I think those three are going to be battling it out for the best quarterback in this conference. That's how highly I think of DJ Lagway.
Yeah, I was going to think Garrett Nussmeier, a big name. What about Alabama and Auburn and Georgia? Texas plays Georgia. You think they're going to take a step back, maybe talent-wise overall, or do you think they're going to take just continue to be the machine that Kirby has created in Athens?
Yeah, Georgia's another interesting one where, I think they're on the decline a little bit, but that's from, back-to-back national champions and really should have been 3-time national champion. They let one slip away against Alabama. But I don't know if you're aware of this, Bobby. Every time I see this, it just like shakes me. Georgia was 15th in the conference last year in rushing the football. I mean that's awful. And that's with essentially the entire offensive line making it to the NFL. I mean, how in the world can Kirby Smart allow that to happen? Because we know they love to play defense. They love to run the football. They've got to get back to that. And they don't got to be dominant on the ground, but you certainly can't be 15th in the SEC in rushing the football. I don't care who your quarterback is. I think they lost some of that offensive identity. If they can get back to it, I think that's key to Georgia being a lead again. I'm sure they're going to be fine on the defensive side of the football, but I got major question marks with Mike Bobo and quarterback Gunnar Stockton if they're championship caliber. And, I think it's just guesswork at this point in time, but if they're not in the conversation next season to win a national championship, I think they got to make a change at offensive coordinator.
I think that is going to be tough. Kirby Smart and Mike Bobo go way back to their playing days. But I hear you. I also think that, last year Georgia didn't have a receiver that was very good. They really struggled at that position. And I think that allowed teams to kind of, gang up on the run against them. But, it is what it is. What about Alabama, Auburn? I feel like Alabama, for some reason, is due a bounce back year of sorts because I don't think Jalen Milroe was a Kalen DeBoer type of quarterback, if that makes sense. Kalen DeBoer wants to throw the ball first, run to set up the throw, et cetera. What do you make of the Alabama quarterback situation and then Alabama as a whole? They look like they should be much better on defense, by the way, too.
Yeah, and I think that's critical. I'm glad you said that, Bobby, but I'm right there with you. Basically, everything you just said about Alabama. I think they are, I don't want to call them a lock, but they should make the college football playoff. I think it's going to be them, Texas, and Georgia that are going to be vying to win the conference this year. So Kalen DeBoer, he came in with such an outstanding resume. Certainly got dinged last year, losing 4 games. I think that's inexcusable, even if Jalen Milroe was a largely inconsistent player. But to me, that's on the coaching. I mean, you adapt to your players. You don't do it the other way in college football. So, but the fact that they come out of spring and essentially name Ty Simpson the starting quarterback, I think that's a great sign for Alabama because that tells me that Ty Simpson is far and away running away with that competition and is comfortable with what they're asking him to do on the field. They get back offensive coordinator Ryan Grubb. I think that's massive for Alabama. But I don't know. Hot seat is not the right word here, but I don't know that there's a coach that's facing more pressure than Kalen DeBoer, because if they don't make the college football playoff yet again, I don't think he's back year 3. And now, does that mean they fire him? Does that mean he goes to the NFL? I don't know, but they won't have him back. I mean, and nor should they. I don't think.
It's the old coaching saying, "Don't follow the legend. Follow the guy that followed the legend." There's no way. And Kalen DeBoer Texas lost to Kalen DeBoer twice, by the way, when he was the coach at Washington. Texas fans feel very strongly that he's a really good football coach, right? So, but following Nick Saban is good luck, buddy. I mean,
Right.
I think that's just one of those things. Like, what are you supposed to do? What about other teams around the league? Vanderbilt, Tennessee, maybe Kentucky. Texas plays up in Lexington this year. Mississippi State, Longhorns go to Starkville. Any of those teams catch your eye and what you're thinking about those guys?
Tennessee for the wrong reasons, Bobby. I mean, obviously the Nico drama and all that, but he's a popular punching bag now on Rocky Top within Ball Nation and quite frankly, nationally.
Yeah.
After that whole saga, you know what? But man, he was going to be instrumental for Tennessee this year. He was going to be the engine that drove the offense, and I don't know if he was up to the task, but I certainly think he's better than what they got coming in now at the quarterback position. So. And quite frankly, Tennessee has been a running program and a defensive program the last 2 years.
Yep.
Have SEC defenses caught on to Josh Heupel? I think I'm not saying they have, but I think that's a fair question. But I mean, you could also spin it to say, I think it's fair that Josh Heupel's system, it's not really dependent on quarterbacks. It's almost like they make the quarterbacks. Mm-hmm. Now, can you do that with a guy coming in summer? I think that's very questionable. So I would be very surprised if Tennessee, even if they win 9 games, which I think with Nico, that's exactly where I had them. I think they're more of a 7-5, 6-6 without Nico.
Oh, wow. You think he's that much better than Joey Aguilar, the transfer from UCLA, if he's the guy.
Right.
The guys. What about Kentucky, Mississippi State, Arkansas? Texas plays those guys. Any intel on those that you think they're going to be better, worse? Mississippi State, I think, should be better this year, theoretically. Your thoughts?
Well, my first thought is that's a hell of a trio to get because those are maybe the worst teams in the conference. But no, I love Arkansas's quarterback, Taylor Green.
Vandy beat Alabama straight up last year, and they've got Pavia coming back. They beat some SEC teams this past year.
Oh yeah. Well, all right. Excuse me. I thought you said State, Arkansas, and Kentucky. Those
I did. I also mentioned Vandy, but that's okay. Good.
Yeah.
We're joking around here a little bit. I'm just asking.
I do really like Vanderbilt. I love Diego, and I love the fact that Clark Lee was man enough to kind of blow up the offense and take his hands off it and bring in the New Mexico State squad to fix it. Because I do think Vanderbilt will be pesky once again. I think every game they go into with the style they play, it's tricky. It's unlike anything. It's quite frankly, it's a triple option out of the shotgun. And I think that's genius of Vanderbilt to do. Chew up the clock, get lucky with a turnover here or there, and they can steal a game or two, just like they did last year. But as for the rest, I mean, Kentucky's god awful. I think this is Mark Stoops is the longest tenured coach in the SEC. I think this is his last year. I think he's going to be selling. He already sells bourbon, but I think he's going to be selling bourbon full time come November. Mississippi State, Bobby. I mean, what are these SEC programs doing when they? Again, I have a lot of respect for Jeff Lebby as a offensive coordinator, as a quarterback coach. But anytime you hire a head coach that has no head coaching experience, and then he turns around and hires coordinators that have no coordinator experiences. I mean, this is like a clown show. I mean, this is the big leagues. You know, we can't give you 3 years to figure it out. This ain't, 1998 when that was maybe acceptable. It's do or die by year 2 in the Southeastern Conference these days. So I'm rooting for Jeff Lebby. I'm rooting for Mississippi State, but I don't think they stand any shot other than having an exciting offense. I think that far and away they had the worst defense in the conference last year, and I think it's going to be similar this year. And again, I mean, I love Taylor Green, but that's about the only thing I love about Arkansas. Could he steal a game or two? I think he could, but it's not going to be like the Texas game. It'll be maybe an Auburn game, maybe a Tennessee, because I told you I think Tennessee will be down a little bit. I could see Arkansas stealing a game or two. They shouldn't, because they potentially have a really, really dynamic quarterback this fall in Taylor Green. I think he's one to keep your eye on as maybe a quarterback that not a lot of people nationally are talking about, but I think they will be by the end of the season.
Last one I wanted to ask you about Auburn. Texas doesn't play them, but Hugh Freeze has had some success in the SEC before. What do you think of the team he's kind of put together? It'll be his second year there on the Plains.
Yeah, no, this is his third year, Bobby, and I'm waiting to see what excuses he's got this year. Who he's going to throw under the bus? Because I mean, he's run out of people. Bobby, he's fired all his coordinators before. His handpicked quarterback, it took him about 6 quarters to throw him under the bus. So I don't know. I mean, this is the most talent he's had, but they just won 5 games, and some of those losses were laughable. And can they rebound and have a good year? I don't know. I'm dubious of it. I really am. I mean, Hugh Freeze, we know he won 10 games at Ole Miss, but people overlook the fact he lost to Vanderbilt twice. People overlook the fact he's lost 3 years in a row to Diego Pavia. And that goes back to New Mexico State multiple years. You know what I mean? So I don't think he's much of a coach. I think he is. Oh, we all know what he is. A swindler. He can recruit, because I think he's an outstanding liar. But is he a good game day coach? He is not. And I think Auburn will struggle. I think this is probably going to be the last year of old Hugh Freeze, unless, Bobby, you talked about Jackson Arnold. And that's an interesting one, right? Because what's Auburn's problem? They kept turning the ball over, right? So let's go get a quarterback what's his major problem? Turning the ball over. I mean, what in the hell are we doing here? This could be, and I like Jackson Arnold. I think he has got massive potential, but I think this could be the wrong fit for him. I hope I'm wrong for his sake, for Auburn's sake. I hope he fits it like a glove, and maybe it'll take off. But Hugh Freeze does have an ace in his pocket there, because he does have this quarterback. I don't know if your followers will know this name, but true freshman Deuce Knight. He is phenomenal, is what I'm hearing. And it could be similar to Billy Napier, DJ Lagway last year, where a true freshman quarterback comes in, wins you a couple games late, and all of a sudden you got momentum for 2026. But if I'm already saying, well, maybe that's the hope for Auburn, 2026 will be better. Year 4, you didn't bring in Hugh Freeze to be better in year 4. You brought him in to win it immediately. And if he doesn't get it done by the end of year 3, I don't know that he ever gets it done there.
Good stuff. Your final picks for the conference, you said Alabama, Texas, Georgia, you have going to the playoff. Who do you have winning the league next year?
Oh, well, I haven't made a full decision on that yet, but I would also add, I think, again, I haven't really made my official playoff picks either, but I would throw LSU into that conversation too. I think the SEC gets it after getting 3 last year. I think Greg Sankey will flex, and we'll get at least 4, if not 5, hopefully this upcoming season. I would throw LSU into that playoff chase as well.
Okay. All right. Any last thoughts, Mike, for you? I know I want to give you a chance to plug that SEC podcast. And thank you for joining us. Any final thoughts though on the Longhorns as well?
Yes, I would just like to bow down to our Texas overlords and say sorry for doubting you. Sorry for doubting Sarkisian. Arch Manning is going to win 2 Heisman trophies. And man, I can't wait to see it. Come check us out, SEC Mike, and that SEC podcast. We'd love to have you.
All right. Thanks a bunch, Mike. We appreciate you very much joining us for the Saturday morning conversation. Hopefully some people had some fun with that as well. Again, we were brought to you by this morning Advanced Pain Care. Thank you to those guys. Make sure you check them out anywhere in multiple locations around the Austin area. For Mike Bratton, I'm Bobby Burton. This has been the Saturday Conversation on Texas Football. Welcome.